7:24 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, everyone desires healthy skin. Some feel miserably, like me, but quite often questions of proper skincare surface. Of course, if you talk about skincare, you're talking about the surface. Well, on set with me, we have two individuals who will give some insight into achieving healthy skin. We're joined by Dr. Eckel, who is the Cosmetic Doctor of the Skin Health Institute located at Anderson Terrace in Maraval, and a special guest from Barbados, Senator Dr. Crystal Haynes, who is here in her capacity as well as a cosmetic doctor and an ophthalmologist as well. But before we hear from them, before we go further into this very important issue for many of you, not just women alone, men are very concerned about this as well and their appearance and so on. Let's give you a short intro into the dialogue that's going to be coming up.
Do you think it's possible to achieve healthy, flawless skin without using creams or moisturizers? I do.
Oh! Yeah! What? What you want? Oh. Come on. Yo. Yeah. That's right.
What's your GSR kit?
All right, well, you've got the intro. I'm sure many of you are very keen on finding out about this. You might recall that we interviewed Dr. Rachel Eckel not so long ago, where she had her mentor, Dr. Obagi, from Beverly Hills. Remember him and the famous people that he worked with and how he had them looking so young and so on. Tell us a bit more, Dr. Eckel. Good to see you once again. Thanks very much for joining us. And Senator as well, thanks very much for joining us also. Tell us a little bit more about the clinic and the recent updates to the work that the clinic has been doing.
So first of all, thank you so much for having us on today. It's really our pleasure to be here with you. Now, Dr. Baji, when he visited 2 years ago, the clinic, the Skin Health Institute, really was in its infancy. And we started with just me, one doctor, and 3 supporting staff. And now, 2.5 years later, we have 3 doctors, we have 4 nurses, 4 estheticians, and over 30 staff members at the Skin Health Institute. And the uptake and the support from the people of Trinidad has been truly overwhelming. And we are so happy that we have between 80 to 120 patients that we care for their skin every single day at the Skin Health Institute.
Well, let's hear from the good senator from Barbados as well. Dr. Haynes, what has your experience been like with training and being mentored by Dr. Eckel?
Well, first of all, I'll start by saying that we in the Caribbean are truly privileged to have someone as esteemed as Dr. Eckel be here in the Caribbean willing to train. She's absolutely fantastic. She's world-renowned, and I've actually met her since 2016, and this is my 3rd visit to the Skin Health Institute. She has a real passion for teaching, and I have to say the growth that I've seen in myself professionally and otherwise, she's really invested in just nurturing and educating and making sure that we know as much as she knows about skin.
So Dr. Eckel, let's get to the issue itself. I mean, everybody wants to know how they can achieve this beautiful skin and all of these, this magical appearance that they would see it on television and so on. How is that possible?
I believe, Fazeer, that we should not be led by marketing when it comes to selecting our skincare. So oftentimes patients are lured to things that look pretty on their bathroom shelves, that smell nice, that feel nice on their skin, the packaging looks nice. Perhaps there's even a famous celebrity endorsement behind it. But what that means is that they buy the products, they spend a fortune, and then they see no results. So whenever you're choosing skincare, the most important thing is to choose skincare that is driven by science and by efficacy and by results. And today we're going to talk about a landmark clinical trial that without the use of any creams or moisturizers, we saw incredible results in the skin. And
but is that possible? Is it actually possible to have better skin and, with all that is required for it without these creams and moisturizers? Because as you said correctly, you see this famous superstar selling you this product and so on, you say, oh gosh, if I bet I'll look 30 years younger.
Sure. So again, you have to be driven by results and science. We have to know that the product works. You have to do clinical trials to assess it in order to know if I buy this, what should I expect? Will I expect to see improvements in dullness or roughness, or will this just look pretty on my bathroom shelf and smell nice but give me no results? And today, in 2019, every patient that walks into my practice, everybody that calls us says, I want results. I'm tired using products from Sephora, department stores. I'm tired of wasting my money and I don't see any improvement in my skin. So it's important that you use medical grade products, products that are research, tested, FDA approved, that we know work and that give you great results.
So let's talk about this GSR, getting skin ready. What is that all about?
So getting skin ready are really the building blocks and the fundamentals of any great skincare regimen. Basically, it's your daily skin hygiene. So 3 simple steps: cleansing twice a day, exfoliating every morning, and toning your skin twice a day. It may sound like a little bit, but it actually just takes 3.5 minutes, less than it takes to take care of your teeth, to brush your teeth every day. So.
And for that sort of process, how difficult is it for the average individual, the working person, hustling around, rushing, getting children ready, hustling to do many different things, running late, don't want to be late, and so on? How difficult is that, Senator, to just do that simple process on a daily basis?
On an average, brushing your teeth takes about 8 minutes a day. If you brush, floss, and gargle, 8 minutes. This totals 3.5 minutes for your morning and evening routine. So it's quite simple to fit into any person's schedule. It can fit into my schedule, which is quite busy.
Okay, sounds relatively straightforward in that sense. Let's hope it's as easy as that. But from what I understand, there was apparently a large clinical trial that was performed not so long ago on GSR. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
So first of all, I think it's really important to discuss who did the clinical trial.
Sure.
So the first person is Dr. Zoe Diana Drelos, who is a legend in the field of dermatology. She is a cosmetic doctor, but also a research investigative dermatologist. So most of the skincare products that we have on our shelves and in the pharmacies that we use, Dr. Drelos, over the last 30 years, has been the pioneer behind them and have done most of the clinical research behind these trusted products. Now, Dr. Drelos, when we took her these 3 products, like you said, there's no creams or moisturizers. It's a cleanser, a scrub, and a toner. We took these to her and we said, we'd like to analyze these 3 products over an 8-week period on patients' skin, and we think we're going to see great results. And she looked with a very skeptical eye because she said, in 30 years, I've never seen that without a cream or a moisturizer, so I'm not so sure about that. And then she started the clinical trial and she was really surprised because she actually analyzed every single skin parameter. So every attribute or adjective you could think about with skin cellular function, she analyzed. And at the end of 8 weeks, she was blown away. And she said, in 8 weeks, I have never seen these changes whereby every single skin attribute improved. So much so, things like sebum reduced by that's skin oil, reduced by 98%. Roughness improved by 73%. Smoothness, 77%. And patients had an overall very high satisfaction rate with it. So we know from the clinical trial that 8 weeks of getting skin ready does work. It's proven, it's effective across all skin parameters.
And of course, because we are in the Caribbean, because we are in the tropics, there is that concern as to whether, of course, as you said correctly, Doctor, we have all these fancy products, pretty bottles, expensive like hell, on the shelves, nice movie stars and so on. But do they actually work in our Caribbean conditions? Because in the tropics, and again, I'm no skin expert, of course, you're the experts, you all are the experts, there are issues related to oily skin and large pores and those because of our tropical conditions. Tell us about those particular challenges, those specific challenges in our tropical environment and the whole GSR format.
So oiliness is perhaps the biggest complaint that we hear in our clinic. 8 out of 10 patients are coming into the Skin Health Institute and also to you in Barbados complaining of diseases of oil, like acne or rosacea. So remember that oil is the enemy number 2 of the skin after the sun. Oil is a very irritating, noxious, pro-inflammatory substance that we all produce it, and if we leave it to sit and settle on the skin, it eats away at the skin. We see large pores, roughness, redness, dullness, acne, rosacea, etc. And so I think it's really important that we address oil. And getting skin ready does so very effectively. In 8 weeks, like I said, you see oil reduction on the skin by as much as 98%, which is remarkable considering that it's just, a 3-step easy program.
And we're going to take a break very shortly, but before we get to that break, and we'll give you another short video presentation after that break and continue our dialogue with our two guests, Dr. Rachel Eckel, who is the cosmetic doctor at the Skin Health Institute, and also visiting from Barbados, Senator Dr. Crystal Haynes, who's an ophthalmologist and a cosmetic doctor. By the way, you can reach the Skin Health Institute at 622 Skin. They are located at Anderson Terrace in Maraval, and you can go to their website, theskinhealthinstitute.com. But before we go to that break, you mentioned dullness and roughness. How does the GSR process deal with that?
So dullness and roughness, they typically occur because of the accumulation of dead, lifeless skin cells. What GSR does is that it has three key steps, but two primarily address exfoliating the skin, which is basically the removal of those dead, lifeless cells that are contributing to those symptoms. So our first step, which is cleansing, helps to remove excess oil, debris, soils, pollution. Step 2, where you're scrubbing, you're mechanically exfoliating, removing those dead cells. And even our toning step, although toning primarily addresses neutralizing excess oil, the pad that the toner comes on is a textured pad, which also tends to help with addressing dullness.
Sounds like a major construction project for some of us, as far as getting all of that rubbish off your face. But indeed, we'll continue our dialogue with our two guests. Let's take a quick break. We are talking about the science of a healthy skin with the GSR method, and indeed, without creams and moisturizers. Even so, I sound like an expert talking about this. We'll be back right after this.
Do you think it's possible to achieve healthy, flawless skin without using creams or moisturizers? I do.
Go! Yeah! What? What you want?
Oh,
Come on.
oh,
Yo. That's right.
What's your GSR kit?
Coming up towards 7:39 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, maybe my skin isn't ready for GSR. Maybe yours will be. You never know, because we have our two experts here to give us more information. Dr. Rachel Eckel, cosmetic doctor, and Senator Dr. Crystal Haynes, our guest from Barbados, ophthalmologist and cosmetic doctor. We're talking about the Skin Health Institute located at Anderson Terrace in Maraval. We'll give you the contact information once again. Before we wrap up this morning, we're talking about GSR, and before we return to our two guests with many questions that we have on the table for them, let's give you another brief video presentation.
Getting skin ready by CEO Skin Health is the foundation of any effective skincare regime and the key to unlocking beautiful, flawless skin. GSR is the first and most important part of any skincare program and consists of 3 easy steps: cleansing, exfoliating, and toning. The GSR system is key to restoring skin health on a deep cellular level for improvement in all skin attributes, including discoloration, dryness, and acne. For a limited time, we're offering 3 different GSR kits based upon your specific skin types and needs. These luxurious GSR kits consist of a designer cleanser, exfoliating scrub, and oil balancing toner. These kits are affordable, effective, and the foundation of healthy skin. What's your GSR kit?
Well, let's find out. We're having a look at some of the products right here in front of us as we continue our dialogue. Dr. Eckel, we mentioned earlier about the clinical trial. Let's talk about the patient's satisfaction. What was the response in relation to the clinical trial?
So normally when you see results like this across all parameters, and when you're using medical grade skincare, it's usually associated with a little bit of downtime, like redness, dryness, and exfoliation, which patients don't always want or like because of their social lifestyle. But interestingly, with the GSR kit, over 8 weeks when we clinically assessed it, patient satisfaction was at a record high. There was no downtime, no irritation, and most patients said after the trial that they would recommend it to their friends and family. They would reuse it, they would purchase it, and they all saw improvements in their skin.
And no two people are exactly the same, which suggests that no two skin types are exactly the same. Are there different GSRs for different types of skin?
That's right. There are 3 different types, and each of them addresses a specific type of skin concern. So as we already identified, the majority of people in the Caribbean and in Trinidad have what we would call oily skin. So in that case, you have a specific type of cleanser. Then some people would describe their skin as being normal, or what we would call combination skin. And then for people who, let's say, would have had eczema or psoriasis, or perhaps even postmenopausal women, we tend to take a gentler approach. So there's something for everyone.
And of course, we're talking about cleansing the skin to actually start the process. How do you advise your patients on cleansing your skin correctly?
I think this is the most important step in any skincare program. And if you just do one thing, and that is cleanse your skin correctly, you can see huge improvements. So I advise my patients to wash their face for 60 seconds at the end of the shower. Because at the end of the shower, the keratinocyte cells, or dead cells that accumulate, are most soft and supple, so you get maximum exfoliation at the end of the shower. So you wash for 60 seconds, and then you spend the last 10 seconds cleansing around the eyes and in between the lashes. And I think as Dr. Haynes has a background in ophthalmology, this is a great time for her to speak about why it's so important to cleanse around your eyes for healthy eyes. Because you can look at somebody and they can have dark circles around the eyes because of oil accumulation and rubbing, and then you think they're tired. Or you can look at somebody and they have red eyes and they look like maybe they've been smoking marijuana or something. So it can send a very negative first impression. So eye hygiene is so important.
Absolutely. Chronic dry eye is something that most ophthalmologists will tend to see. And what most people don't know is that the cause of chronic dry eye in most cases is what we would call meibomian gland dysfunction. So that's a bit of a mouthful.
Yep.
But what it speaks to is that the oil glands that line your eyelids are overproducing oil, similar to how the oil glands on the skin in some people may produce excess oil. So this is why cleansing is so important, because the step where you spend the last 10 seconds cleansing around the eyes, it gently removes the excess oil that may be contributing to your chronic dry eye symptoms and your meibomian gland dysfunction.
And you know, all this cleansing thing, as a married person for almost 30 years now, I watched this thing with my wife, and the cleansing and all that sort of thing. And they used to have the makeup remover, which again is another construction process, I suppose, in many cases. Is that really necessary, all this makeup remover and that sort of thing?
So women tend to wear makeup, and then they use makeup remover or wet wipes in order to try to clean the face. But what we know is that the wet wipes just sort of move the debris and the skin soils around, and the makeup remover can be harsh and irritating, especially around the delicate eye skin, and if they're wearing something like waterproof makeup. So instead of wet wipes, or instead of using makeup remover, your Zeo Skin Health Cleanser actually doubles as a makeup remover in the shower. So for example, this evening when I get home with my full face of makeup for TV, I'm going to get in the shower, wash my face once for a minute with my exfoliating cleanser to take off my makeup, and then I'm going to do a second cleanse to clean my skin and get my skin ready for the application of creams.
And Dr. Haynes, the whole question of the GSR, does it actually help to brighten the eyes? Does it work effectively in that regard?
Absolutely. So chronic dry eye and meibomian gland dysfunction may cause your eyes to look red, discolored. You have, in fairer skin persons, the eyelids might look red, what we as doctors would call eyelid erythema. In darker skin persons, it may manifest because of chronic eye rubbing as dark circles. So definitely it helps to brighten the eyes because you're helping to control one of the factors that throws off your tear film balance, which is the excess oil.
Well, let me get to the question that I really wanted to ask this morning. Is this a woman's only product?
Men tend to get neglected in the field of cosmetics.
Thanks very much.
And I think it really shows on their skin.
Rub it in.
So I think it's important that when a gentleman comes into the clinic, usually they're just using maybe a bar of soap on their face, or they can be dipping into their wife's products. GSR is a wonderful place to start because it's simple, it's easy, and it's effective. It's 3.5 minutes, cleansing, scrubbing, oil control, toning, and you have that beautiful fresh feel to the face. But in addition to that, gentlemen who shave tend to get things like beard rash or pseudofolliculitis barbae, as it's known in dermatology. And the GSR...
Pseudofolliculitis barbae, I don't remember that. Go ahead.
It basically occurs because of accumulation of oil in dead cells. And GSR actually treats and prevents pseudofolliculitis barbae. So it's a very effective program.
Well, with a beard like mine, even a scraggly one, at least I don't have to worry about that in that regard. But at the end of the day, people want value for money. What about the affordability? What about people who are operating on a very tight budget? Is GSR something that they can avail themselves of?
I truly believe, Fazeer, that great skin should be something that everybody has access to, and effective skincare products. Now, usually the GSR kit or the GSR products can cost upwards of 2,000 TT dollars. But for a limited time, we are offering the 3 different kits at a much more affordable price, starting at 600 TT. So we have a limited number, a limited offering as our gift to the people of Trinidad in order to get you started with getting skin ready. See the beautiful results for yourself. Try it, test it, and then you can move on to other products.
So normally 2,000, you get it for 600?
Exactly.
And
yes.
how long will that special offer last for?
So the offer is until the products run out.
Okay.
So we only have a limited amount, and our stocks are almost halfway gone. So my advice would be to give the clinic a call and reserve your products. And the great news is, we were talking about customer service on the break and how important this is for all businesses. We've just started to offer free delivery throughout Trinidad. So basically you call, you can speak to one of our skincare specialists, describe your skin over the phone, let us know what your concerns are, and we can recommend the correct GSR kit for you. And whether you're in Mayaro or Tunapuna, we will have it delivered the same day right to your door.
Yeah, I can imagine calling the Skin Institute. Hello, my face is like El Socorro Road with all the potholes that it has there and so on. I would like you to patch up, please. But do these products, Doctor, differ from what you would get in a pharmacy or in a department store?
Well, that's the beauty of Zeo Skin Health being a medical grade product. We're held to a much higher standard. These products have been proven through clinical trials. Some of them have even been approved through the FDA, which is a way higher standard than anything that you'll find on a department store shelf or drugstore shelf. They can make any number of claims without having to prove it, and these products are tried, tested, and proven.
And Doctor, do you have to see a doctor to get a GSR kit?
No, you don't. So even though Zeo Skin Health is only provided via medical practices or doctors, you can come into the practice and one of our highly trained product specialists will analyze your skin and suggest the correct GSR kit for you.
And in keeping with that topic about customer service, about getting the right advice, because there'll be different grades, different types, different skin service, whether you have a El Socorro Road or Uriah Butler Highway or Mayaro Road, or you have a dirt track, like some people might have, I don't know. But will you get that type of advice as to the right type of GSR that you'll need?
The most important thing perhaps in skincare, Fazeer, is that it is customized to you. Not just your skin type, but also your social lifestyle, your budget, your times. Because some people might say that, listen, I only have 3 minutes in the morning. What can I use that's quick and effective? So when you come in, we will treat you like an individual client and personalize and tailor-make your skincare protocol and your GSR kit specifically to you, your budget, your skin type, so that everybody has access to beautiful, flawless skin.
And of course, we're going to remind you of all the contact information for the Skin Health Institute in a short while before we wrap up this morning. But Dr. Haynes, you know, at the end of the day, some people will talk about cosmetics and things, and that these are just you all hear the phrase "beauty is skin deep" and so on. But it's about feeling good about yourself in many respects, and therefore for many people it's about confidence, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in different types of environment. People just generally want to feel confident in themselves, and let's face it, appearance is an important part of that.
Yes, absolutely. For us as physicians, we think of the skin as an organ. It's the largest organ in your body, and our belief is that you have to take the best possible care of it.
And Dr. Eckel, in that sense, about feeling good about yourself, and people coming to the Skin Health Institute, when you talk to your patients and so on, and the various treatments and applications, what's the sort of feedback that you get from them?
So patients, like you said, want confidence. They want to be able to not have to put on 5 layers of makeup every day before they leave the house. I have patients who their husbands have never seen them without makeup, and they are
really?
Yes. And they come into the clinic, and the first thing we say is, please wash off your makeup so we can take some clinical photographs. And they're hiding while they come into the room. So people underestimate the effect that unhealthy skin can have on the psyche. And it is a very debilitating issue for many patients with acne, which you can't cover up with makeup, or deep dark circles underneath the eyes. So when you see their transformation, Fazeer, at the end of it, when they walk in, usually by 6 or 8 weeks, they ditch the makeup, they love the fresh, healthy skin, they come in with so much confidence, they finally look me in the eyes. The initial visit, they're looking down the whole time. And the confidence at the end of the day is what we are returning to patients. We're making you feel your very best, you're most comfortable in your own skin.
And Dr. Haynes, what's so very important as well, a lot of time people pitch different things, is the issue of the integrity of the product and the quality of the product, because as an ophthalmologist yourself, I'm sure you would have situations where people trying all these miracle cures or whatever, and maybe applying it carelessly would have done damage to their eyes and so on. It's so very important in that sense, and I'm sure GSR, this is the message that you're sending. It's a safe, effective sort of product, and indeed will not, once it's applied properly and used properly, won't do any damage to the eyes at all.
Absolutely not. And that's why we spend so much time educating. That's why Dr. Eckel has invested so much time educating people like myself, and as well as her team. She has a staff of 30, and from the front of house right up to the top physicians in her clinic, they're all the best informed, and they take the time to sit with patients to educate them about the products, how to use them, and how to get the best possible results.
Yes, go ahead.
She mentioned something about education that I really want to spend a second talking about,
sure,
which is that I truly believe that the patients who get the best results and who have the most beautiful, flawless skin are the ones that you spend the time educating them. So most physicians, when you go in to see them, whether it's a skincare doctor or you go to see your general practitioner, they're rushed. They spend 5 to 15 minutes with you. You voice your complaints, you get a prescription, and they're out. We actually spend between an hour to an hour and a half with all of our initial skin consultations, because we want to hear your concerns. We want to thoroughly analyze your skin. And we also spend a lot of time educating the patient about their disease. So patients will come in and they would have seen 20 doctors before us, and nobody would have told them that they have rosacea or melasma, and they have no idea what these conditions are. So we spend about 15 minutes drawing the anatomy and physiology of the disease, so they can understand why we're using certain treatments, why we would choose to do certain things, and then their compliance is much better afterwards, and in turn you get healthy, beautiful skin.
And because time is just about running out on us, Dr. Eckel, just to remind your listeners and viewers, and indeed anyone else who might be very keen on this getting skin ready process, how they can avail themselves of that and how they can contact your clinic.
So our clinic is open Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we can be reached at 622 Skin. If you'd like to see more before and after images, they can also go on my Instagram or my Facebook page, which is at Dr. Rachel Eckel, and our website is theskinhealthinstitute.com.
All right, so you have all the information, and indeed, so if you have a face like the South Coast Road in Barbados or El Socorro Road in San Juan, there's a solution here for you. You can really find the solutions that you need. And indeed, it's all about not just the quality of the product, but the quality of the service as well from the Skin Health Institute. We have the news coming up, and I'll be back to wrap up the show, hopefully with some fresher looking skin.